Thank you, Dennis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I got motion made by Dennis, seconded by Rhonda. Any further discussion? Roll call, please. Mike Metzger votes aye. Stephen Thorpe.
Aye.
Dennis Rack.
Aye.
Kevin Muldowney.
Aye.
Jay Churchill.
Aye.
Rhonda Johnson.
Aye.
Let the record show 6 votes in the affirmative. Motion carried unanimously. Now let's move to new business D. Christine and Millen presenting, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. New business D is the Pomfret 2 PV project. We received a pilot tax lease application for this, gotta find my spot in my notes here, 4.699 megawatt AC solar farm that's proposed in the town of Pomfret to be located at 10026 Farrell Road, Fredonia, New York, 14063. Pomfret 2 PV LLC is owned by RIC Development. That's, I'm sure, a familiar name for all of you, or most of you, as Rhonda's just joining us today. This developer has previously come before our CCIDA board to present the Hanover PV, the Hanover 2 PV, and the Pomfret PV projects for solar development, and has received pilot and tax lease approval for each of those previously. Today we have with us John Rapp, who is the CEO and sole member of RIC Development LLC, and we also have Ivo Tomchuk, the Director of Development for RIC, with us today. And I believe they have a PowerPoint, just a brief PowerPoint presentation, a few slides that they'd like to present as they are introducing you to this new project in the town of Pomfret. Jeanette, would you be able to display the PowerPoint for us?
Yes, just one moment.
And welcome, John and Ivo.
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
Good morning.
I can also share the presentation myself if that's possible.
What would you prefer, Ivo? We have it
Yeah, I
up.
think I would prefer to share.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I would prefer to share my screen.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Ivo.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, do you see it now?
Not yet.
Oh, okay,
Now I see it.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so today we're presenting our Pomfret 2 solar project. The name suggests that this is our second project in the town of Pomfret. The first one, as Christine mentioned, was already approved by the board. So again, for a brief reminder of the companies, the company and us. So RIC has a parent company that's based in Madrid in Spain, and the group has a total experience of more than 16 years now worldwide, and also 11 years in the US. We've successfully been developing similar types of projects in the US in various states, and also we've successfully built some of these projects before ourselves. Currently, we're located, our head office in the US is based in New York City, as we're also very focused on developing projects in the state of New York. And we have a number of projects similar to the one we're presenting right now in upstate New York in various different counties. A few highlights about the project. Again, it's located in the town of Pomfret. The address is 10026 Farrell Road. In village of Fredonia is the postcode, New York 14063. The parcel is zoned AR1, which is an allowable use for solar. The project is owned by Sam Farm Incorporated. It's a 44-acre parcel. The total project area is approximately 28 acres. That's the area within the fence. So the project, sorry, that's a mistake. Christine had the right number. I forgot to update it. It's 4.699 megawatts AC capacity, or a total of 6.57 megawatts DC capacity. And the project is developed for the NYSERDA's community distributed generation program. So basically there will be benefit to the public for residential and commercial owners who want to participate in the community solar programs. They can benefit from discounts on their energy bills. This is a brief overview, a rendering of what the project would look like from a bird's eye. So you can see it's set back significantly from the road. We worked with the town board for a while until we come up with a design that everyone is happy with. It will be screened by a row of evergreens along the front, and also we're adding some landscaping on all sides to screen the project from all the nearby residential houses or public roads. And I think we were very successful in convincing everyone that the project would not create any visual impacts or any other impacts to the neighborhood. A brief overview of the process for permitting the project. We started it back in December of last year. In January, we submitted the formal special use permit application. We went through a couple of board meetings. Then the town board had a specific request to us to increase the setbacks and redesign the project in a way that better fits the neighborhood. So we worked with them, and we were successful in presenting something that everyone is fine with. And then we had a public hearing this month on the 13th. And right after the public hearing, the town board approved the special use permit, conditionally approved the special use permit. And also, we've already received a lot of other agency consultation letters and reviews completed. So some of them are Section 239 County Planning Review, Historic and Archaeological by the State Historic Preservation Office, threatened and endangered species with DEC and Fish and Wildlife Service. We've completed wetland delineations and jurisdictional determinations, aviation and glare threat assessments by the FAA, and so on. Basically, at this point, we've received all our discretionary permits except the seeker review, which is to be completed. So with that, I'll open with any questions about the project.
Thank you again for taking in the aesthetics of the community with a larger piece of property and a smaller project footprint. That's great. Thank you.
Ivo, I had one question. What was the previous use of this land?
It was agricultural.
Do you know what was grown there?
I believe it's cabbage.
Cabbage? Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Ivo?
Christine, I'd just like to thank you also and CCIDA for facilitating the process, particularly with Town of Pomfret, helping us kind of get to something that made sense with the town as far as the host community agreement, et cetera. And now we've been through this for the fourth time, and it's just been a very, very smooth and easy process to get through.
You're welcome, John. Your team's been excellent to work with.
Yes, and we want to thank you and your commitment to our county. Thank you very much.
John mentioned the town of Pomfret. Supervisor Keikos and I have had multiple conversations about this project as they've worked through their process. And as Ivo mentioned, on April 13th, the town of Pomfret Town Council approved a conditional special use permit for the project. And subsequent to that, Supervisor Pecos reached out to me and asked that the CCIDA proceed with considering the pilot and tax lease application, and also requested that the CCIDA act as lead agency for the seeker review for this project. The project cost is $5.6 million, and the application that you have before you today is a pilot and tax lease application requesting a 25-year abatement of real property taxes with sales tax abatement and mortgage recording tax abatement. This is just a preliminary due diligence resolution and agreement, and I would invite Millen to review the resolution at this time.
Christine has done an excellent job in summarizing it. This is the sort of standard preliminary due diligence. If it passes the board, we will do things like start working on the pilot, deviation, public hearing, etc., and have all those things done and concluded before we come back to the board in probably a month, maybe two.
Okay, great. Any questions? Additional questions of Christine or Millen or of John or Ivo?
John or Ivo, when do you think construction would start on this project?
It'd be next year, so we'll start ordering equipment the fall, but with some of the supply chain issues in the industry, we won't break ground until next year, as early as we can.
Yep. And we're going to promise that next year our weather will be much nicer.
It was an early spring this year. We had another one of these to be perfect.
Yes, the county executive has committed to that, so thank you.
If I could just jump in 1 second, I wanted to clarify one thing I heard Ivo say, and he mentioned that the postal code is Fredonia, Village of Fredonia. But John and Ivo, just to confirm, this project is located in the town of Pomfret, but not in the Village of Fredonia. It's just the postal code. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. It's
Okay.
in the town of Pomfret.
Thank you. That's important for our, some of our next steps moving forward.
Thank you for that clarification, Christine. Yep, if I can't see it out my window, it's not in the village. Yes, so any further questions of anyone? Hearing none, I will ask Stephen if you could please move new business D2.
Sure. Resolution 04-26-22-07, preliminary due diligence resolution and agreement for Pomfret 2.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Okay.
Motion made by Stephen, seconded by Dennis. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please. Mike Metzger votes aye. Stephen Thorpe.
Aye.
Dennis Rack.
Aye.
Kevin Muldowney.
Aye.
Jay Churchill.
Aye.
Rhonda Johnson.
Aye.
Let the record show 6 votes in the affirmative. Motion carried unanimously. Let's move to, we have another solar project. This is exciting. All these solar projects. New business E, presented again by Christine and Millen, please.
Mr. Chairman, new business E is a project that is known as the Angel Road Solar Project. We received an application from an entity called NY Hanover 2 LLC that is owned by NYDRS Finco 4 LLC. Today we have with us Dan Campitello, who's a project developer from Delaware River Solar, And also with him today is Richard Chun from the law offices of Richard Chun. They have a presentation to share with us also, a PowerPoint presentation for their project, which is proposed at Angel Road. There's no street number. It's near Hanover Road. Silver Creek address, but located in the town of Hanover. This would be for a 2.2 megawatt AC solar voltaic energy generating system. Dan, I'm looking for you on my screen. I don't see Dan now.
Oh,
Dan, you
I'm
should have
on
the
the phone.
number.
Here, okay, I see
Yeah.
you now, Dan. Dan, would you like us to pull the PowerPoint presentation up for you?
Sure, that'd be great, Christine. Thank you.
Okay, Jeanette, if you could please pull that up for us.
Yes, just one moment.
Thank you.
Just making sure I have it loaded here. On my computer as well.
All right, Dan, just let us know when you're ready.
Okay, great. Also, Christine, and thanks very much, Christine, for the introduction. And everyone, good morning. It's great to meet everyone virtually here on behalf of Delaware River Solar. We really appreciate the board's time and all the help that we've received so far in getting ready for making this application for pilot and seeker review for Angel Road Solar. We're really excited to be working with the IDA in Chautauqua County and also the town of Hanover. It's been a wonderful experience all around on this project, and we're really excited to present it today. I'll start off by kind of giving some background on DRS. I know this is the first time presenting to the Chautauqua County IDA, and sure, any questions you have, just let me know. So as Christine mentioned, the formal name of the project is Hanover 2 LLC, and colloquially we call that Angel Road Solar because it's sited on Angel Road. Kind of click into the second slide here for just an overview on Delaware River Solar. And so DRS was founded in 2016, right at the beginning of the community solar efforts underway in New York State. And very soon, very quickly after that, we hit the ground running, securing about 95% of some of the best positions in NYSEG's territory. Since 2016, we've really focused on NYSEG and RG&E service territories in New York State. Recently, we've begun expanding into all the other utility markets, including National Grid, Orange and Rockland, Central Hudson, in addition to having a very strong presence in NYSEG and Avangrid. Over the years, we've been able to develop a pipeline of a little over 300 megawatts of solar, and to date, we've installed almost 150 megawatts of that are now operational. We've had the great pleasure of hosting NYSERDA's announcement of hitting their 2030 goals, or getting halfway to the 2030 goals of getting to 6 gigawatts of installed solar capacity. Last year at a ribbon cutting event that was at our 6 megawatt total combined solar facility in the town of Bethel in Sullivan County. Then Governor Kathy Hochul attended, or Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul attended, and made the announcement that New York State had reached that goal of hitting 3 gigawatts of installed solar much earlier than they thought, which is a really great milestone we have achieved. We're seeing that solar is becoming much more accepted across the state, and the mechanics of developing solar are becoming more commonplace, and a lot less time is spent, getting megawatts developed and operational to date than there were several years ago. We feel pretty confident about our track record here in New York State, and this is really wonderful to be able to bring our first project to Chautauqua County. It is one of many counties that we've worked in across the state. The next slide is really just kind of a background of the New York State Community Solar Program and how it works. Community solar is also named, community distributed generation. The solar projects are built, installed, become operational, and anyone, homeowner or renter or a small business or a large business or a school district or a town, even a town lighting district, can sign up to subscribe to the power. They pay for the power just like they always do. They get a bill from NYSEG, and what they see on that bill is a 5 to 10% discount on the electric usage rates per month. They know that power is being offset, all of their power is being offset by the solar project that they've subscribed to. Projects can be a maximum of 5 megawatts in size, which I'm sure that the board knows. And today we're proposing a 2.2 megawatt facility. I think I'll click to the next slide, which is a little background on Angel Road Solar itself. And here what we're showing you is an overview of the site plan, which is for the Town of Hanover Town Board for review. This is a 2.2 megawatt single axis tracking system, meaning that the panels face the sun in the morning. There's a motor that turns them on a roller bar to track the sun throughout the day. So we get a little bit more efficiency out of these types of systems. This project will be sited on an open hayfield in the southeast corner of the project. And we requested and had approved area variance to allow us to move the project a little bit south into the setbacks on the property. That allows us to preserve all the grapevines that are on the property, which is a very established Concord grape vineyard that the Bell family has been operating for quite some time. No grapes will be taken out because that variance was allowed us to move the project just outside of the buffer of the grapes. So we felt that was a great win for the farmer and their family. The town really supported that as well. Another benefit of that area variance setback adjustment was that we were able to move the project a little bit further away from the closest residences, which are just to the north of us on Angel Road. And great support of the project. Each of the neighbors showed up to the town board and said that they preferred that. They actually, supported the Bells with the solar project, and they appreciated that the town, granting that area variance to allow us to move the project a little bit further from them. The real benefits of this project are that the access road that you see coming in off of Angel Road, traveling south and then east, that'll be a shared use access road, so the Bells will be able to use that to get on to the vineyard there, and we'll be able to use that to build the project and maintain it over the next few decades. We expect to have about 500 local subscribers to this project, and we've actually have a really good track record of we've never built a project and got it operational without fully subscribing it first. And there's a waiting list right now for all of our projects across the state. So we have a good local sales team that reaches out to local community events and farmers markets. We have a good website presence that helps get the word out about how community solar works, and feel we would have this fully subscribed well before we build it or finish building it. And we hope to possibly break ground later this year, if not in early 2023. And it would take us just about maybe 3 months to build this project, given that there's not a lot of ground disturbance that's required for it. And finally, on our last slide, just wanted to give you some background about all of the different IDAs and taxing jurisdictions that we've worked with throughout the state. We actually, with Richard Chun on the line with us, Richard was very instrumental in securing the first solar pilot in New York State in Sullivan County. Since then, we've worked with over a dozen IDAs across the state on various projects, and very experienced with the whole pilot process. And we also appreciate how the IDA is able to step in here to conduct the secret review on behalf of the town. So I think that kind of gives you the overview there, and happy to answer any questions.
Dan, this is new to some of us, the community solar. How does a resident of Chautauqua County participate in this program?
Great question. Well, the easiest way is to go to our website and just sign up for solar. People will just enter their name and address, contact information. From there, we can check in with NYSEG and put them on either an operating solar farm if there's space available, or put them on a waiting list for a solar farm that we're getting ready to build. From there, we take care of everything with NYSEG. I believe, hopefully in this area, there's single billing right now, so that they would just see everything all on one bill. If that's not been established in this territory of NYSEG yet, they would get a bill from NYSEG showing how much energy they use that month, just like they always do, and it would show a bill credit on that, which would relate to essentially a 10%, 5 to 10% discount on that energy usage.
So Dan, in
People
Chautauqua County, we only have 4 or 5 towns that are represented by NYSEG. But if you're a National Grid customer, you can't use this energy. You would have to sign up with a solar farm that was in a National Grid's territory, or can National Grid sign up for this as well, customers sign up?
That's a good question too, right? So customers in NYSEG can only sign up for solar farms that are in NYSEG. Customers in National Grid can only sign up for solar farms in National Grid. What we could do is, if we had a solar farm available on National Grid, we could put those people on that solar farm, and that can be any solar farm that we've developed in National Grid that's already operational.
So it wouldn't necessarily need to be in this county.
Or, well, not necessarily in the county or in the town. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions of Dan or Richard or Christine or Millen? Christine, would you like to continue?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dan. Excellent presentation.
Yes, thank you, Dan.
Dan mentioned that the town had approved the area variance, and following their meeting, Supervisor Johnson did approach me and requested that the CCIDA proceed with consideration of the pilot and tax lease application. And the town is also requesting that the CCIDA act as lead agency for the seeker review for this project. Once again, the application is for real property tax abatement, and it would be a 25-year schedule, sales tax abatement, and mortgage recording tax abatement. The project budget for this project is about $3.9 million. And before you today, you have a preliminary due diligence resolution and agreement, similar to the last project that we just presented. Although I will ask Millen if you could just review that briefly with the board and answer any questions before they move the resolution.
Same preliminary due diligence resolution with a due diligence agreement with the applicant. And once again, staff and council would, if approved, conduct the various items of due diligence necessary, including, as Christine mentioned, SECRA. We would hold a public hearing and have a deviation notice, and then do the deviation hearing. Presumably at our next meeting, if it's not May, then it would be June. So same form of resolution that we've done in the past, including a couple times today.
Hey Millen, Mark Geis here. Just real quick, just so the board doesn't get confused here. There's no difference between the preliminary due diligence resolution and a due diligence resolution, correct?
Yes, I'm sorry,
So we used to call it preliminary approval resolution, and we changed that to due diligence resolution. So in the future, we shouldn't call it the preliminary due diligence resolution, just the due diligence resolution, correct?
correct.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification. Any further discussion? Okay, if, let's see who's next. If, Kevin, if you could please move,
Resolution 0426-22-08. Preliminary due diligence, should I say it that way? Resolution and agreement?
Sure.
Okay. All right, I'll second that.
Mike.
You're on mute, Mike.
thank you. Motion made by Kevin, seconded by Dennis. Roll call vote, please. Mike Metzger votes aye. Stephen Thorpe,
Aye.
Dennis Ragg,
Aye.
Kevin Muldowney,
Aye.
Jay Churchill,
Aye.
Rhonda Johnson.
Aye.
Let the record show 6 votes in the affirmative. Motion carried unanimously. Great luck to everyone with these excellent solar projects, and thanks for all the hard work and effort of the IDA staff to bring these to fruition. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Truman. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. We're going to go to new business F, and what I'd like to do is take all 4 resolutions as one vote. So we're going to have these loans presented by Christine, Carol, and Rich, and then I'll be asking for a motion for resolutions 09 through 12. Okay, Christine, would you like to start out, please?
Yes, I'd be happy to, Mr. Chairman. And this should be somewhat brief. The Merritt Estate Winery, and this is the last one on your list, is listed as 4-26-22-12. Merritt Estate Winery had previously applied through our EDA CARES revolving loan fund for $82,000 in working capital funding. This is our what we call the coronavirus relief loan fund, and at that time, maybe all of the working capital loans for that round were reduced by 50%. If not all, it was almost all of them.
Just the working capital portion.
Just the working capital portion. And so they did receive half of that, the $41,000. However, they still had the need, they weren't able to buy all of the grapes they needed for processing and making wine as a result. And at this point in time, we have funds that continue to be available. So they have requested the remainder of what they originally requested, the other $41,000. And that's so that they can buy juice now to make the wine for their inventory for this season.
And we actually went back to those loan customers because we still had a balance. And we said, hey, are you interested in, we know we cut you in half for the working capital portion. Do you still need it? And so they responded. They were one of the ones who responded that said yes.
Thank you, Mark. So the loan request that you have before you today is for $41,000 with a loan term of 7 years at 2.44% interest with principal and interest payments made monthly. The loan would be secured by the same collateral as the initial request. It would be a subordinate lien on all accounts receivable, fixtures, furnishings, machinery, equipment, inventory, and the assets of the company. He-Man Life Insurance on the life of Jason Merritt in the amount of $41,000. Unlimited personal guarantee of William T. Merritt and Jason Merritt. And similar to the last request, the life insurance on the life of Bill Merritt is requested being waived. The loan committee, of course, reviewed this and all of the other EDA RLF loans that are being presented here today, and their recommendation was for the CCIDA board to approve the request as presented. Kevin, do you have a question?
Yeah, and forgive me, I probably should have brought this up beforehand. Merit is a tenant of mine, so I would think I would have to abstain. No?
Millen? You're muted, Millen.
Millen, oh, still muted, Millen.
Okay,
There you go.
I'm sorry, they're a tenant of yours, and this is an existing lease. If the lease is not contingent on this, and therefore there's no specific financial remuneration, you don't have a conflict. Given the appearance, my suggestion is that you can recuse yourself, and there's probably enough votes otherwise. So it's not a prohibited conflict, assuming that you don't get any more or less money as a result of the vote that the board's about to take. So assuming that's the case, my suggestion is to abstain and let everyone else vote on the matter.
Okay, thank you. And I do apologize. I should have brought this up earlier.
It only complicates the issue because if you vote for all four at once, he would have to recuse himself from either all four, or they would have to call out the fact that he's abstaining from that one resolution.
Yeah, and I think abstaining from one is fine.
Yeah. Good point, Mark. Yeah.
Happy to
Okay.
answer any questions on this request.
Any questions regarding the Merritt estate? Seeing none, let's move to Carol and your loan.
You're muted, Carol.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Don't know how that happened, but I'll be going over the next three. The first one is Artone LLC. Artone was one of the first ones to come in and request 250 in working capital. They have come back to us for 125 of working capital. They had just a little bit of background. They had 100 employees and they were down to 50. They now have regrouped. They have some new demands that are ramping up. So this working capital is needed for new employees, for payroll, and for training, hiring to assist Artone in their new demands. Otherwise, their cash flow would be difficult to do this. They are now at 99 employees. So they have definitely regrouped. And that's what the 125 in working capital will be used for at 2.44% for 7 years. Their collateral is subordinate position on machinery and equipment, accounts receivable, all company assets, corporate guarantee of Artone LLC, that's owned by the Albion Artone Investors Group. We did waive personal guarantees and life insurance assignment. Because of personal guarantees, there's the investors were not going to go along with that, and we have always used this with Artone. We've always used this rule of thumb with them. That is their request. The next one is Heritage Ministries, who also came to us initially for $250,000 in working capital. They're coming back asking us $400,000. The 250 did not, or the 125 did not work with them. They offer, secure and serene homes for elderly living, senior living. But COVID-19 really put a strain on them, especially with the testing supplies. They had an enormous expense, and it really put a drain on their cash flow. So they are requesting this $100,000 to help with that. $100,000 plus per week are their expenses. They were mandated for some new equipment, so they did have to buy the new equipment. And due to this, it kind of overwhelmed them, and they need the $100,000 for their cash flow. Now they're asking for the $100,000 at 2.44%. Again, that's 7 years, pretty standard. And are there any questions on these two so far? Okay, thank you. And again, those were recommended by the Loan Review Committee, both Heritage, Artone, and Labyrinth. Labyrinth is the last one. It's Labyrinth Press Company in Jamestown, New York, downtown Jamestown on 4th Street. I think we're all familiar with that. They this is their first request for an EDA loan. $100,000 at for 7 years at 2.44%. Their collateral is a subordinate lien position on machinery and equipment, furniture and fixtures, accounts receivable, and all assets. The life insurance assignment of Jeffrey James and Alexandria James, owners of the Labyrinth restaurant, by the way, and Brazil's is upstairs, and they also have now purchased, if you're familiar with on the bottom, there was Maurice's Beauty Salon. They purchased that because they need to expand their kitchen, considering what they've done for during COVID. So they built an outside patio, so they have a lot more people involved. Alexandria and James are the main owners and working people. We asked for personal guarantee of Jeffrey and Alexandria and Frank Bessie. Frank Bessie has some ownership in it. He's not really a working member, so we're requesting to waive the life insurance for Frank Bessie. Their working capital funds, they'll be used mainly for employees, new employees and new training. They had 21 employees. Of course, they did have to shut down. They got down to 11. Now they're regrouping and ramping up. And so their monies will be used for training and employees also. Any questions on that one? They do a great job. Jamestown loves them. Their outside patio is wonderful. You know, it's really put a nice look on 4th Street.
Thanks, Carol.
Sure.
Great, thank you, Carol and Christine. Rich, do you have anything to add regarding these loans?
No, we looked at them all. They all look good, Mike. I'm very pleased with all of them. Just to say, though, that, you know, probably one of the last restaurants we'll be able to help, as this fund will revert back to the old EDA rules as of July 1st. So I was glad we could help people, you know, that particularly the restaurants that are still suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And that we were fully able to commit all of that 10.5 million.
Yeah, that's great.
That is exceptional. So we have to applaud you. I would have never guessed that you would have been able to, one, in getting the 10.5 million, that was incredible, but also in exercising it and getting it out to the community. That's just exceptional. So thank you again, and I'm sure all the community thinks that are recipients of these monies. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask Jay to move Resolution 04, our new business F1 through 4.
Okay. A complicated one for me, huh?
Well, because you've got my car behind you, so I figured.
Do you want me to read each one, or do you want me to summarize?
You can just, I'll let you use editorial license.
Okay. Resolution 04262209 through 12. Descriptions upon request.
Great. Do I have a second?
I will second that artful.
Okay. All right. A motion by Jay, seconded by Dennis. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please. Mike Metzger votes aye. Stephen Thorpe.
Aye.
Dennis Rack.
Aye.
Kevin Muldowney.
Kevin Muldowney votes aye from 9 through 11, and I would like to abstain on resolution 4-26-22-12.
Thank you. Jay Churchill.
Aye.
Rhonda Johnson.
Aye.
Great. Let the record show resolution 09 through 11 were carried. 6 votes in the affirmative, carried unanimously. Resolution -12 was 5 votes in the affirmative, 1 abstention, motion carried. Thank you very much. Great job to all. Rhonda, we promise you this we don't have this full of an agenda, but it's was tremendous, excellent work by all. Let's move to the executive directors and CEO report. Mark, please.
Yeah, I'm going to be very brief because it has been a long meeting and there's more to go. So just 2 things really quickly. On April 9th of 2022, Governor Hochul signed Chapter 56 of the laws of 2022 relating to the New York State budget. And included in that bill was an amendment to the open meetings law, which basically says you can continue to do video conferencing only under extraordinary circumstances. Bottom line, that means we need to have meetings in person again. So here moving forward, we will be having our meetings in person. We'll still do, we'll still video the meetings and put them on Facebook, etc. But we have to have the meetings in person now because we don't have extraordinary circumstances.
Yay.
Mark, if I can add to that,
Yeah.
it was even more limited than that. That law said that a quorum still had to be present. The other members could be absent and participate by video conference only in extraordinary circumstances. So we still have to have the quorum present. It's just that, if Kevin is sick yet wants to participate, he could do so, again, but only under extraordinary circumstances. So I agree with you. The gist of it is the governor is saying that this COVID thing is sort of dying out and we all need to meet again.
So that's one thing. So we'll get that going. And then the other important thing is on June 30th, we will be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the CCIDA by going to the ballpark and watching the tarp skunks play. So we will have an official, the IDA is going to be basically buying out the stadium for the day. And we will have, hot dogs, hamburgers, drinks, etc. And we'll invite the board members, we'll invite, past clients, family members, etc., etc. So we'll get those invites out so you all know about it, and we hope you can all join us. Again, it's going to be on June 30th, just giving you a heads up. That's all I have for now, Mike.
Thank you, Mark. And again, we hope you can all participate in that June 30th event. which is in, to recognize the 50 years of this public authority is tremendous. Okay, we'll move to the treasurer's report. Rich, please. You are on.
Screen up, thank you.
Yeah.
And Mr. Chairman, Mike, Jay Churchill here. Is
Yes.
this a problem if I exit the meeting at this point because I have another meeting I have to get to? Or am I going to mess up the quorum?
No, because we will have 5 members for our CRC meeting, so you will not mess up the.
Now, would you like me to share my screen?
No, we've got it ready.
And,
Just give me a second.
Yes, and we appreciate your participation in this meeting. So thank you, Jay. Let the
Thank you.
record
Sorry to
show that Jay Churchill has left the meeting at 11:31.
Hi, Jay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Be safe and well. Hope you feel better.
Jeanette, could you make that one click bigger for me, please? Try 50. No, try 50%, Jeanette. Thank you. That's good enough. That's all we can do. So I apologize for the busyness of this. I just wanted to point some things out that, you know, Mark and Nate have been very successful in bringing in a lot of grants. So the balance sheet, Kayla and I are working on this to consolidate this a little more, to bring some of the funds together so we don't see them. But just the new fund is the Northern Chautauqua Industrial Park money. We got $1.5 million that came in. We also have $333,000 over on the IDA side for that, and that money is used for industrial park expansion, so that's new. We've got some trails money we got from the county, that's another column that's new, and we will be consolidating some of these other ones on the board report. So all in all, we're in a great position financially here. If you could go to the next slide, Jeanette. You missed one, Jeanette. There you go, thank you. This shows our revenue for all of our different funds and our expenses. Again, IDA is a little behind our application fees, just timing-wise, we haven't received a lot. We have a lot of large fees to come, particularly on the solar projects. So I think we're going to be in great shape there. The CARES Act, of course, is you know, almost $1 million in revenue coming in there, and then the grant money. So let's go to the last page, please, the variance. We will be revising the budget in a few months as we get a better idea of Nate's and Mark's, all the other funds that are coming in and where we stand. So as you can see, our application and our revenue fee is down at this point. I expect we'll meet, if not exceed that goal, though. The grant income is up. A lot of that is timing issue. We had thought we would spend more CARES money in December when we passed this. So again, we'll adjust that. On the expense side, basically just all variances due to a variety of timing issues. Utilities is the weather. Professional fees are always front-loaded, and other expense. So I think we're in real good shape, Mr. Chairman, and you know, I don't see anything but good news on the horizon here. So that's all I have, unless somebody has a particular question.
Oh, excellent. Excellent financial position. We couldn't ask for any more. Super. And as you
You can
identify.
always ask for a little more, Mike. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, okay. All right. But thank you, Rich, and
You're welcome, Mike.
and Kayla and your team. Job well done. Okay. Now I'd like to move into executive, accept a motion to move into executive session for the purpose of either discussing personnel, particular businesses, or transfer of property. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Stephen. Do I have a second?
Okay.
Seconded by Dennis.
Recording stopped.
All those in favor, thank you, Jeanette. Seconded by Kevin. All those in favor of moving back to regular session, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, Jeanette, if you can
Recording
tell
in
us.
progress.
Great,
Yes.
I heard that. And for Millen's benefit, we did not, let the record show that we did not take any action in executive session, but Millen did talk a lot. So just let the record show that, please.
There's no record of that.
Any new business to come before the board? Or old business? Okay, again, thank the board members. Please stay on. We're going to be moving to CRC after this. Our next meeting will be May 24th. Now that can't be Zoom, right?
Mike, I apologize. There is no CRC today due to governance being canceled. So governance and CRC is being pushed to May.
Oh, well then that makes it easy so that
Yes.
everyone can leave. Thank you, Rosie, for giving us some more time. And I want to thank all the board members for their hard work and effort, and especially all the staff. Tremendous job. So as always, quorum is important. I want to thank you very much and have a great day. Be safe and well.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Meeting
Thank you,
adjourned.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good night.
Meeting adjourned.
Have a good one.
Good job.